So, can I start? Okay. So, hi, I'm Masahiro Aoki. I'm from Japan, Tokyo, and I have spent over 5 years of Flutter and Dart, and former startup co-founder, CDO, startup, and raised some money from VC and left Gym. And after that, I joined IBM Japan for large-scale shipping company project. And I am now co-organizer of Flutter Tokyo. So if you come to Tokyo, please pin me. Let's hold some Flutter meetups. And I'm now running a company called OpenCI. It is the company to boost their development speed with CI/CD. And at the same time, I led Mobile Gym Game Hub in Tokyo. It's the startup for the construction site and provide technical advices to a wide range of companies like small startup to large companies like IBM. So the first thing first, what is CI/CD? So have you used CI/CD for Flutter? So please raise your hand if you have used CI/CD for Flutter. Oh, okay, some, a few. Okay. So what service do you use? GitHub Actions. How about Codemagic? Bitrise. Okay. So maybe, yeah, some of you know the CI/CD. So in the context of Flutter, this is an overview of CI/CD. CI/CD can be divided into two parts: CI, continuous integration, and continuous delivery. And in CI, we run Flutter analyze and Flutter test to ensure the code quality and whether the code aligns the stream coding rules. And in CD, continuous delivery, first run Flutter build, command to produce apps build, then upload the build to the App Store, Play Store, Firebase App Distribution for the QA or release. This is just an overview of CI/CD in Flutter. So of course you can modify or add each steps, like adding Slack notification when build phase or success, or email notification or call coverage or something like that. Whatever you want. So some team don't use, most of you don't use a CI/CD in the project. And first, I have seen many projects that don't have CI/CD in Japan. So what issue will happen? So when you don't use CI, these three major problems may happen. Decreased code quality, inconsistency of code, and delay in discovering bugs. For the decreased code quality, running tests frequently improves code quality. And if you run static analysis, often this keeps your code base consistent, more healthy. But be sure to set up analysis options and set the length as strict as you can. My personal recommendation is to use Flutter length for the first step. And next step is to use a very good benches length. It's very strict. But be careful for using the custom link package by Invertase. When I used it 3 months ago, it has memory leak bugs. So yeah, be sure to check it. And if you don't run tests and static analysis often, at least a few times a day, you will find the bugs later, and the cost of fixing bugs goes up. So you have to pay more money without CI. And if you don't set up CD pipeline, this issue will happen. Instability and inefficiency of deployment, build failure, feedback loop delay. So when you run Flutter build and upload a build manually, this is error prone and it incurs labor costs. In this case, a build professional, who is the person who is really good at generating the build, is born. And if that person is absent, no one will be able to release the build to the market. To solve this problem, in most cases, the company will prepare some documentation for releasing the build manually, but it will cost money for creating and managing the document. And also, since delivery is carried out manually, it is very easy to make mistake. And if you are building manually, the build may succeed in one engineer's environment, but maybe fail in another. This is because the build process depends on the environment. If you set up CI/CD pipeline, you will always build in the same environment. So if you have encountered the build issues, you don't have to care about the environment. Just focus on the fixing the build. So if you build manually, often the feedback loop delay. So if you build manually, it often takes a long time before you can release your product. Time is money, and the long time means lower chances of business success. So creating a CI/CD will increasing your development speed. As you know, increasing development speed is very difficult in software development. CI/CD is one of the few options to boost your development speed. Other option is maybe to buy the better laptop, buy the spare, something like that. So it's very essential. And of course, you may know that adding more people to the project will not increase the development speed. It only decreases it. If development speed increases, the probability of project success will also increase. And if the probability of the project success increases, the working environment will improve and engineers will find it easier to work. This will make it possible to recruit more talented engineers, and team will be able to take more aggressive approach to the technology. The technical debt will also decrease, creating positive loop that will lead to even faster development, more successful for business. So how should we build a CI/CD for Flutter? Today I will introduce an example using GitHub Actions with a fastlane. So the reason I use GitHub Actions is because of its versatility. GitHub Actions has a lot of useful actions, and you can use them for free. And all of the actions are open source, so you can check all the actions code. Also, because it is integrated into the GitHub, so the UX is very high. However, I was told that from my clients that they can't use GitHub Actions because of the security. GitHub Actions enable us to use actions freely on the internet. So, and most of the actions are maintained by volunteers, so they don't pay much attention to the security. So the project manager told me that they will use Travis or Jenkins for the CI/CD. So yeah, be sure to check your manager. And if you use a CI/CD service other than GitHub Actions, you can know whether the build succeeded or not at the GitHub pages. But you cannot check the log on the GitHub. So you have to go to the CI/CD service page, and then you can check the log. And in this explanation, I will not be using the fastlane. Fastlane is a very powerful tool and is supported by Google, open source, but you have to learn fastlane itself and Ruby, and it takes some time to get used to it. So first, let's explain CI/CD for Android. This is a general flow as follows. Download the source code, install Flutter, set up JDK for building the Android APK AAB, Flutter build APK AAB, and release. It's simple. Overview of the GitHub Actions workflow. And to use GitHub Actions, you have to write a YAML file. But the syntax is same as analysis options.yaml for Flutter. So in the file, you already defined the renders for that and Flutter project. So it's not difficult for us. So the first step is to set the GitHub action trigger. So you need to decide when to run CI/CD, which is called trigger. In this code, GitHub actions are triggered by pushes to the develop branch and PRs. And of course, you can specify multiple branches, and you can also use wildcards. GitHub actions can do a lot of things, but on the other hand, they can be complicated and difficult to learn. The next step is to choose a build machine for this CI/CD. The cheapest one from GitHub is Ubuntu latest, But you can also use a third-party runner. Have you ever used third-party runner for GitHub Actions? It's very niche topic, but you can use third-party runner. It's much cheaper and faster. And you can clone the source code using checkup v4 by the GitHub's official account and install Flutter on the build machine and import key store and key properties required for building Android APK and app bundle. The tricky part here is that the JKS and the property files must be converted to basic source string and saved as GitHub secrets and read those strings from this workflow. And please install Java in order to build for Android. And Android Studio is already installed on the GitHub wholesale runner. So in case you use a third-party runner, please check the runners provider page whether you have to install the Android Studio or not. And simply run the Flutter build command to create an APK or app bundle file, and then upload the builder to the Firebase App Distribution, because you can deploy the builder to the Play Store or something like that. The iOS CI/CD process is very similar to Android. However, the handling of the certificates is much more complicated and it takes much time. If you are not familiar with Apple's certificate hell. So this is a complete version because I found a good action. The overall code is short. This part is same as Android. Check out the code, select the build machine. The thing to note here is that you need to use macOS to build for iOS. You can't create an IPA for Linux machines like Ubuntu latest. Well, technically it's possible. However, due to Apple's license, it's impossible for the production. If you want to know more about it, please look at like Hackintosh. You can Google Hackintosh, so you can build an IPA with Linux machines. The problem here is that the cost of using macOS is 10 times more expensive than Linux machine. So expensive to use macOS runner. So, but fortunately, you can keep budget down by using a third-party runner that I explained. But be sure to check the pre-installed packages, libraries, programs of the third-party runners, because the pre-installed runner is sometimes different from GitHub hosted runner. So maybe you have to install some programs to run the CI/CD. So clone the source code, install Flutter. You can cache the Flutter SDK to speed up your CI/CD. And just like Android, you import the certificate and upload it to Firebase App Distribution or App Store or test flight. So what about the other options for CI/CD? I personally like GitHub Actions, but it doesn't suit for every project. Each service has its advantage and disadvantage, so I'll explain. So this is a rough overview of the CI/CD for the Flutter. So if you want customizability, it's GitHub Actions, but it's more expensive. But Codemagic is a good balance. And the fastlane is free because it's open source tool, but it's not just CLI. It doesn't provide the build machine. So if you're doing small scale like indie developer or small startup, I think GitHub Actions or Codemagic is a way to go. Maybe fastlane is okay, but you have to really care about the environment, your local environment. So how much does CI/CD cost per month? Indie developer, 20 iOS and Android bits per month. Codemagic is the cheapest one. Bitrise is a fixed price, so no matter how many you use it, it's same as it's US dollars. And the Codemagic is the first 50 minutes is free, so it's very affordable. And the price goes up as the scale increases. It doesn't change much, so I think it's better to choose the service you like. But CPU is different. Codemagic uses M2 CPUs. It's fastest one, I think. The Bitrise and GitHub Action, it uses M4 V4 CPU. It's half of the M1 CPU because M1 itself has 8 CPUs, so it's much slower than the M2 Codemagic one. The larger company, everything is expensive. So the next question is how to convince your boss to introduce your CI/CD. So yeah, if the boss is a software engineer, maybe it's easier. But if not, yeah, maybe they will say no. So maybe someday I understand that CI/CD is useful. I understand your idea, but exactly how much benefit is there? It's a tough question. And this is the one that I was told when I was CTO from the CEO, and the CEO was working at Accenture, so he was really care about the cost. The answer, my personal answer, is to show the number to them. So like this, 90% off. So ultimately, we reduce the cost, labor costs are 90% off. So let's say that you build for iOS and Android every 2 weeks and submit them to the App Store and the Play Store. The engineer spends 1 hour each submission, so that 2 hours a month. With the hour rate of the engineer is $50 US, that's $100 per month. But if you use a CI/CD like GitHub Actions, it only costs around $10 per month. So it's much cost effective. Yes. The next one is limitation of current CI/CD services. As you know, as you can guess, it's too expensive. So first of all, it's too expensive for CI/CD. Having to pay more than $2 per every build is crazy expensive. And it is still too difficult to set up and manage CI/CD service. And we are Flutter engineers, so we write code every day, but GitHub Actions are managed with YAML. So of course you can understand the YAML file, but it takes a lot of time, more time than just writing code, and it costs money and time. And it's also difficult to understand CI/CD. If you have used CI/CD before, it's really easy to understand because you understand the benefit of CI/CD, but it's not. It becomes very difficult. So, and unfortunately, compared to other Flutter topics, CI/CD is very minor one. So, I read the book by the Majid, Flutter, the big book, and I only found 2 pages of the CI/CD for Flutter. So even though CI/CD for Flutter is a very essential topic, but it's not so popular like other topics like Mac. So I'm thinking about whether it would be possible to build CI/CD more easily so that it could be using GUI rather than YAML. Of course, the code is written in Flutter and open source. So if you are interested, please feel free to contact me at any time. So thank you so much for listening. There are some links. Please contact me. If you have any questions about Flutter CI/CD, please join the Discord channel and ask me anything. And I also bought some matcha Kit Kat. Could you take that? No, the yellow one. Yes. So I bought some matcha Kit Kats for everyone for listening. So yeah, please enjoy because you must be tired. So thank you so much. So we will put the Kit Kat over there, right? Yeah, yes. And I bought around 100 Kit Kats, so yeah, please eat as many as you can. Yes, thank you.
I don't need matcha Kit Kat.
Really? Okay.
So you said you can reduce 90% of the cost, right? So I want to know the details of your calculation, like how you estimated you can reduce 90%.
Okay. So it's rough calculation. So one build, if one build costs $1, like building Android APK and building an iOS IPA, I think it will cost almost $5. And in this calculation, it generates two iOS IPA files and 2 APK files, so $5 per build. So I said 2 times per month, so 5 plus 5, $10. And if you use this calculation said that the engineer cost hour rate is $550 per hour, and he or she will spend 2 hours per month, so $50, $50, $100, and $100 minus $10, 90%. Yes, that's calculation.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? I can understand English and Japanese. If you can, please.
还有其他人有问题吗？好的，
Hello, nice to meet you.
Yes.
You shared a lot of experience of adopting CI/CD, and I noticed that your organization is OpenCI. So would you please tell me what your organization do?
Okay, so that's good question, because when I first submitted the CFP for the Flutter Formosa, I was creating the OpenCI. It is very similar to the Bitrise Codemagic CI/CD platforms written in Dart, but I noticed that it's very complicated and it's very hard to manage the secrets, and there are already great CI/CD service like GitHub Actions. So I pivoted to the GUI editor. So now now we are developing the GUI editor for GitHub Actions. And GitHub Actions, when GitHub Actions was released, it was 2018. There was a visual editor, so you don't have to write YAML file at the time, but it was discontinued. So I'm now focusing on writing the visual editor. Yes, because I don't want to write a YAML file, and I had to set up the CI/CD. I have to Google each actions, because each action has unique properties. So that's why I'm now developing visual editor for GitHub Action. And I also try to provide third-party runners. It's much cheaper and safer, but yeah, same as but yeah, because CI/CD is not so popular right now, so I stopped developing it. But if you want to know about it, so I mean, if you want to know how to develop the third-party runner services with that, you can ask me. Yes. Thank you for asking.
那还有其他讲者？那我们最后一个问题。
Hello. Okay. My question is quite simple. Because your introduction is more about GitHub, but if I'm using the GitLab and it is support.
Okay. GitLab is another topic that I should have covered. So maybe next time. Yeah, sorry. Sorry. Yeah. Sorry? Okay, thank you. Yeah. So you are using the GitLab for your project. GitHub? Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. I know because yeah, my manager told me to use it. Yeah, I know. That's why. Yeah, even though there is GitHub Actions. Okay. Other questions?
其他问题等一下在交流时间可以直接问讲者。那我们先到休息时间呢。刚刚讲者提供的零食已经在外面供大家使用。来，谢谢我们讲者的分享。
Thank you，谢谢。